So if the destination is to put love where love is not, and the journey is about growing in love, and we need to practice this growing in love, just like if you are going on a hike, and if you want to become a better hiker, you need to practice it. The question for us now is, how do we practice? How do we practice these things so that we can grow in love? Now, some of these things we do alone. And we know about these things, having a daily time with God. Maybe it's personal fasting. Maybe it's just disciplines that you have embraced and you know that helps you in your relationship with God. A few weeks ago, I was going through this kind of dark struggle in my life and really wrestling with some relationships and wrestling with some things in my life, and some decisions. And so I fasted for 2 or 3 days, and I was like, I'd never done that before, quite honestly, and don't think it's super spiritual. I was just kind of stressed out, and I needed to really find some answers from God. But it was remarkable how that opened my eyes to see things I hadn't seen before. And there are those kinds of things that you do alone, and they're between you and God, and those times of just walking with God and finding that place where you can meet with God. Those are crucial. But then there are other things that we practice that we do together. And these are what I call rhythms. And I talk about these in my book, Missional Small Groups. And I know some of you have seen this book and read this book, and I'm sure you've just embraced it and loved it and all those kinds of things, I hope, maybe. But anyway, I do talk about these rhythms, and there are 3 broad rhythms. One is communion with God. And we do this together. How do we commune with God together? And how do we practice that as a group? The second is, how do we relate to one another? And the third is, how do we as a group engage our neighbors, engage our neighborhoods in our world around us? Now, you think, well, the way to do that is you just do it. But let me just introduce an alternative thing. One time I was watching the show, and there was this hiker and mountain climber who was, they were highlighting on the show. And he had this place in his backyard where he practiced his mountain climbing. Of course, there was no mountain in his backyard. It was just a bar, and he would hang. He was a little guy. He would hang from that bar on one finger. And you might think, well, if you don't know much about mountain climbing or climbing rocks or hiking, you think, what good does that do? But sometimes the way we practice, the things that we practice don't look like the things that we want to do when we're actually producing or actually doing the actions like mountain climbing. So the way we love one another and the way we pray and engage God, that will have a direct impact upon the way we make a difference in the world, although we don't think of it that way. But our relationship, the Bible talks about this all over the place, is the way we love one another. That's how the world will know that we're his disciples. Our love for one another and our unity together will actually reveal God's love to the world. The way we pray, that will reveal God's love for the world. And that's the kind of stuff, that hidden kind of stuff, that makes a difference in the world around us. And it's not just going and doing stuff. It's actually the way we relate to God, the way we relate to one another, and the way we love people in simple ways. That's what changes our world around us. And so over the next few months, Debbie and Justin and others, maybe I'll get involved with this to some degree via Skype or whatever we do here, are going to be talking about and going deeper into these rhythms and talking about specific ways about how do we practice loving God together. How do we deal with conflict in our relationships with one another? And how do we grow in that ability to do that? And then how do we show hospitality to our neighbors and those in our networks and coworkers and family members? How do we share meals with them where we can have truly engaging conversations that might open doors for the gospel? We're going to do that and learn how to do that. And again, it's a journey. It's not something we're going to get to quick and immediately. It's something we're going to grow in as we grow in love together. That's the journey we're on, and it's exciting and fun to see what God's doing, and I just keep praying for you guys. So right now, what I want you guys to do is just talk about how some of the hidden things that you do, hidden things that you practice as a group, might change your group to make a difference in the world around you. Let's do that now.